There are a number of small towns in South Africa that are perfectly suited to hosting an all-weekend craft beer festival, but very few are better than Greyton. This little touristy town is ideally situated, and it's only 150 kilometers from Cape Town. The Fools and Fans Craft Beer Festival started in Greyton 6 years ago, and today's guest is the founder, Trevor Gerntholtz, who is still floating from all the fun he had on the weekend. Please welcome Trevor to the show. My name is Holger Meyer, and this is BeerWorld.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, John, eh?
And the reason we're talking to Trevor is because he's just back from a very successful festival in his adopted hometown of Greyton. How many Fools have you had, Trevor?
We have had, if you include, last year we weren't really allowed to have a Fool.
Yeah.
So we had a little sneaky one that I called Not Fool, because it wasn't in any way a Fools and Fans event. It was a non-event.
Okay, I remember
so
that.
if you include, then 1 year we cancelled completely, the first year of lockdown.
Okay.
So in total, this was our fifth one.
Okay, so it was your fifth one. Okay.
It was our actual fifth one. So we were very proud that we managed to hold a very mini one last year in the middle of lockdown. That was compliant with lockdown rules.
Okay.
And this year it was much more free, obviously, because we were outdoors.
Okay.
But this was our fifth one.
Trevor, what happened? Why did you have to sell your little brewery?
It was very arrogant and of us to think that we could run such a difficult business from Cape Town, an hour and a half away, and we were just really making a bit of a dog's breakfast of it. And it was difficult to run the practice and also run the brewery. So, and also lockdown hit us quite hard.
Yeah.
So we decided to sell and to try and consolidate things a bit. And so I was sad in a way to sell it, but it was, I think in the life of a brewery owner, there's two happy days: the one when you buy it, and the other when you sell it. So we were relieved, but we will still maintain contact with Greyton, and we thought we would definitely continue with the festival in Greyton. We think it's a beautiful small country vibe. Very few places in South Africa where you can park your car, go to a festival, have as much to drink as you want, and then just walk home about a kilometer or two. So we thought this remains the perfect venue for a small beer festival.
Yeah, I think there's a handful of towns that deserve to have a beer fest, and Greyton certainly is one of them, and I think the other one is Clarence. Of course, Clarence.
Yeah. And we are forever indebted for many of our thoughts and ideas to Natalie and Steph and Gavin and what they achieved there. And we run a very far second place, but we are, the flavor of our festival is perhaps a little different. It's a lot smaller, but we hope to have many fantastic brewers in one place from around the country.
And I watched from a distance. I was watching everybody driving towards Greyton from Joburg, from Durban, from Cape Town, and it just seemed like a wonderful affair. The highlight must have been the guys who were still hopping their beer on the way to the festival.
So that's the lovely Megan and Dion, and who made a fantastic, very hoppy pale ale, which whenever they saw a beautiful piece of scenery, and my favorite piece of scenery that they took photos of was a field of cosmos flowers, where they stopped and hopped their beer. And in fact, if you drank their beer, you could smell those cosmos flowers, definitely, without a question. And it was a beautiful, beautiful beer. We were very amazed at the generosity of the brewers coming from so far to come and help me lose some money, and they certainly played their part. But it was really, the culture of beer is strong. I think people were keen to get out after COVID, Holger. You've been to Greyton before. it just creates a nice air of intimacy and beeriness.
Yeah. Trevor, this beer thing is a wonderful thing. And I think only a very few people have found a way to make money out of it. And I think you and I are not one of those. But the community is wonderful. And I think that's the main thing.
I don't, I mean, when I think back of people like the Pinars, operating a stand next to people like them, and everyone's like that. If you're running short of equipment or little fittings, or you've forgotten your spanner when you're setting up for a festival, all of your so-called competition around you will jump in and help you with critting your beer in a very constructive way. So, it's a very wonderful community of people. As and you were one of the first to introduce me to that community. As you remember, I think we met on my birthday at Copper Lake.
We did, yeah. And yeah,
I think we both had zero hair then.
Yeah, zero hair. Yeah.
But it's very nice to see you back on the podcasting trail, Holger. We've always valued you were the first book to detail all the different breweries, and I mean, you're a very valuable contributor to the scene, definitely.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, you talk about the podcast. I was listening to your old podcast, which we recorded, I think, in 2017, and your brewery was about 1 year old. And the next day, we ended up talking on the phone, and it was like you had visited me the day before. So I want to encourage people to listen to that podcast. It was a wonderful podcast, and how quickly things change.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago, huh?
Yeah. So, you said to me that there's Fools and Fans. Well, let's start with the name. How did you get the name? I can guess, but...
Well, it was meant to, it was always, the thought was always to have it in the first weekend of April. It's a very pretty time of year in the Cape normally rain-free. If there is rain, it's just a little bit of a drizzle. Still warm days, but without that intense heat. So it also coincides with my birthday, so it is. I'm probably the chief fool, but there are obviously many fanatics who are involved in the beer world. It's difficult to tell the fools from the fans, and it's kind of evolved over the last 5-6 years into something I think that's starting to gain traction now, hopefully.
Yeah, I thought the fools were the brewers who thought they could make money out of this business. But I wasn't going to say that.
No. Yeah, I'm not. No comment, Holger.
Okay, so it's got to do with April Fool's Day, and I see that you've already booked your dates for next year, which coincides with April Fool's Day again.
Yeah, we always look at the first weekend of April, and then make sure that it's not an Easter weekend.
Yeah,
and then we fit ourselves in. So, yeah, it's easy to know when the next one is.
Yeah.
We hope to see you there next year.
Yeah, I think I must make a pilgrimage to Greyton. So run us through the weekend.
So we've changed things a little bit in that it used to be a 1-day festival. This year it became a 2-day event. So Friday, I thought it would be very nice to have all the home-brewing community in one place. And we were fortunate enough to have a number of brewers home brewers from around the country convene there. We had 42 home brews on tap, and then in addition we had about another 60 bottle entries into our individual home brewer competition. So we managed to get 100 home brew entries, and we gave away prizes for that, and we thought that was a very nice high amount of entries that we were proud of. We ran a second competition for the first time this year with the help of Bev Plus, who have been instrumental in assisting many brewers from all levels around the country and outside of South Africa even. And we ran the first inter-club competition. So we had 7 clubs from around the country and we hope to grow that. We hope to draw in the university clubs as well next year. And we gave a single prize for a version of a nominated style, and this year it was the English IPA. So very high quality of entries. The winners were Helderberg Brew Club, very enthusiastic homebrewing club. But we had people like Bruce Williamson from Wurties, together with Michelle and Alan Jordan coming all the way down from Joburg, and people coming from Durban and Free State, as well as from the Cape as well. So it was, and then on the following day we had the commercial brewers on the Saturday. I went a bit crazy, and I invited 24 brewers, which was maybe a bit too many, but it was wonderful just seeing everyone, and there were amazing beers on offer that you can't get in the shops. Okay. So that was a wonderful day. Yeah.
So why did you invite Bruce? Can he brew an English IPA?
He can, and the bugger put it on a beer engine. So you had hand pulled English style IPA from Bruce's beer engine. It was a fantastic beer, very, very delicious. And as I said, the quality was very high.
Yeah.
And the home brewers went to as much trouble as the commercial brewers, actually. And it was nice for the pros and the amateurs to be standing side by side at a festival like this, we felt.
The good thinking behind it is obviously you get in a lot of extra people.
Yeah, there is that part. And hopefully each of those home brewers go home and tell their friends and family. But yeah, we are hoping to grow. We reached about 1,000 people over the 2 days, which was we think an important milestone.
No, that's fantastic. That's a very, very big number so far away from Joburg.
Yeah, yeah. Still way off the big boys like Cape Town Festival of Beer and Clarence and Capital Craft. But it was very nice to have each of those organizers there as well. So we had Gavin from Clarence, the organizer. We had Martin Tucker, one of the main organizers from Cape Town Festival of Beer, and also the wonderful Johan Urekom, who seems to
capital.
Occupy from Capital Craft. So that was also very special for us to kind of hold hands across the country.
Yeah, yeah. You should invite the guys from Benoni as well, from the Green.
I definitely will. I'll definitely reach out. So that's fantastic too. I'll get contact details from you. That would be great.
Yeah, I did a podcast with them, and they've been doing wonderful work on the East Rand, which I think has been a bit neglected.
Yes. So I think the lockdown just caused a lot of people. I mean, there was a flurry in homebrewing activity, but in terms of getting clubs up and running again, that's taken a bit of time to get restarted again, I think. But people are back with a vengeance.
The kind of people that visited, was it more the brewing fraternity, or?
Yeah, it was mainly the kind of beer geeks and the beer nerds who came out, I'm happy to say. There were a lot of general public as well who I think had their eyes opened. There were no kind of mainstream breweries there. Okay. But there were no sort of stock standard lagers. Everything had a very crafty flavor to it, intentionally. But we're hoping to spread the beer message and grow the craft community through this festival.
Yeah. For me, what was interesting when I spoke to John Morrow the other day in Ireland was that he was complaining that there are too many IPAs and you hardly get any session beers at all.
Well, there were, we had quite a few session beers, but there are perhaps the preponderance of IPAs amongst the craft community, but there was the winner of the homebrew competition was a bitter, for example,
okay.
and that was a marvelous sessioning beer. It was some very nice Gozers and very nice Berliner Weisse from Megan. So there were definitely, there was beers to suit every taste.
Yeah.
There was even a beetroot and white chocolate beer.
Oh.
It was delicious in spite of our sound.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay. Well, Trevor, it's been wonderful talking to you. The dates for next year, do you just want to announce those?
The 31st of March will be the homebrew festival, and then the 1st of April will be the commercial guys. And so, yeah, pencil that in. We'll stalk you, Holger. We know it's how to find you.
and you must get the regions involved again. Then you have then you have all these guys doing pilgrimages to Greyton. Wonderful.
Yeah, and I just I'd also like to thank my co-event guys, Leon Engelbrecht and Craig Claassen has just joined us. So it's been wonderful working with these guys.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and where's the best place to read more or find you on the internet?
Very easy, www.foolsandfans.co.za.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Or Facebook. There's been a nice flurry of activity post-festival on Facebook.
Okay. There they can find some photos and stuff. Wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for listening to our stories here online. In the show notes, you will also find a link where you can subscribe to become part of our community and be notified when we upload our latest content.